Hello, welcome back. I'm Dr. Roger Goddard, and this is the Calm Power program, where together we're learning how to live life much better with greater happiness, spirituality, emotional contentment, positive relationships, peace, tranquility, stress management, relaxation, success, goal achievement, you name it. Health is paramount. All sorts of things that really help us to appreciate this incredible universe, world, place we live in. Day-to-day life can be very stressful. I'm a psychologist. I work with a lot of patients who have a lot of pain and suffering and anguish and trauma and wounds and hurt and aggravation and buttons and all kinds of things that really get in the way of their enjoying life. But the key to life is building our power skills, our calm power skills, our success power skills, our health power skills, the key to life. And we've been talking about quite a number of them in the 4 key areas of life: body, mind, heart, and now we're up to soul. Soul is an amazing area because we all know how important the whole arena of soul, spirituality, life journey, everything mystical, magical, wonderful about life is. But yet, we really don't take enough time to develop our soul, cultivate our soul, nurture our soul. And this is what life has to be about, because the magical, mystical part of life is incredible. When we go away on vacation, we pack up and we surround ourselves with something that is magical, wonderful, incredible. A beach, Disney World, Disneyland, mountains, skiing, traveling, old civilizations. We discover the world, the heart and soul of the world, and we get invigorated by that. And day-to-day life, we come back and can sometimes be a little bit, mundane, everyday, boring, getting back into our stress, our aggravations. So we have to be able to develop our skills that on a daily basis, we are invigorating ourselves with the magic of life, with the whole spirituality of life, with emotionality, with our inner hearts, our inner soul, our inner self. So soul skills and soul power involves 3 main areas, 3 main skills. The first is radical self-support. Radical self-support, very critical, because inside we all have an inner self. The second area, heroic life journey, because we're all on a journey in this life of discovery, of adventure, of trials and tribulations, of trying to discover, clarify, and fulfill our life's mission. And finally, the third area in soul skills is the solar self, the part of ourself that really is spirituality, that is from the sun, that is filled with light and love and remarkable, wonderful things. The part of us that's sacred, the spark of God within us, the spark of spirituality. Maybe you believe in God or belong to a particular religion, maybe not. Whatever you believe, there is something more than just our egos. That is what life is about and what we're living, that is larger than us. And maybe if you are atheistic, it could be something like a life energy, because you can't deny, even if you're an atheist, that there is life. We are alive. I think, I feel, and therefore I am. We have life, and life is filled with energies and all sorts of transformations from one thing to another, and it moves along steady. Now I believe that there is an intelligence to this movement of life. I call it life energy or lethargy. So solar self skills involve being able to live with more of a sense of spirituality, if we believe in God, to be able to develop that and feel that on a daily basis so that we appreciate the sacredness in life all day long. Or if we just believe in the life itself, that this is a gift. If we're existentialists, it still is magical that we have this arena, this life that we have to create within and make something of. So our solar self is very critical in terms of bringing everything together. But we first start with radical self-support. Because unless we're supporting ourselves, unless we are giving to ourselves, nurturing ourselves, taking care of ourselves, everything else is going to fall apart. So the whole arena, the whole area of soul skills and soul power is essential to the Calm Power program, to living life the fullest, to being able to fulfill all the other skills, body, mind, heart, and now soul. Now, in terms of the first soul skill, radical self-support, unless we support ourselves, the game is over. And a lot of people don't support themselves. A lot of people are constantly down on themselves and critical of themselves and insecure and self-doubting, and they feel they don't deserve what life is about. That is not correct. If you have even an inkling of that in your mind, you got to erase that. It is your birthright to feel great, to have wonderful things in life, to get what you need, to be able to appreciate life. But in order to do this, we need to be able to take care of ourselves. Because very often people expect, well, someone else should take care of me. I want someone else to take care of me. And I can't really take care of myself. I need to depend on others. I need their love and support. And this is true. The whole area of heart skills really helped us to be able to get what we need from others. But unless we're able to give to ourselves, we can never fill up what we need inside, the fuel that we need, the love that we need inside. And so this starts with radical self-support. Radical self-support. That means you're going to support yourself no matter what. I want no more excuses. I want no more, well, I was bad, or I don't deserve, or this and that, or I'll support myself later. You guys support yourself. Radical self-support. You will stand by yourself. You're the only one that can always, will always, have to always stand by yourself. Believe in yourself. Support yourself. Nurture yourself. Give to yourself. Because inside of each of us, I believe, we all have an inner self. A tiny little person inside that kind of is doing the gears. And if you remember, I forget whether it's Ghostbusters 1 or 2, I guess Ghostbusters 1, when one of the aliens who take on human form in the human body was, I guess he was like leaving his human body or dying or something, and they opened him up and they looked inside the big gigantic person. There's a little guy conducting the little levers and the wheels inside and like taking care of things. And there was a little person inside, and so he was now weak. And that little person inside guides all of us. And sometimes a person's inner self is very strong and radiating and resilient and happy and joyous and really making the best of things. Other people have an inner self that's fragmented, that is, not very cohesive, that's in parts, that's weak, that's maybe even non-existent, that is in some way not feeding themselves. Whatever the case may be, the inner self needs constant fuel. We know that unless we take care of our car, unless we are able to do maintenance on our car every 12,000 miles, 20,000 miles, unless we put gasoline in the car, unless we check the oil and the water levels, sooner or later that car is going to fizzle out. Well, we need to take care of ourselves. Now, men are a little bit more selfish and self-centered and brought up to be more self-centered than women, and they might go overboard. But they might not be taking care of themselves in the right ways at times. Women very often have been socialized to take care of and think of other people first. So I work with a lot of women who say, well, I just don't have time to nurture and care for myself. Maybe I'll take a little walk on the weekend. Well, that's not always enough. It really has to be on a daily basis we're supporting ourselves inside, through our actions, through what we're doing, through expressing ourselves, through creativity. So radical self-support begins with a commitment to oneself, to one's inner self, to understanding that we have an inner self that needs to be taken care of, that needs to be cheered on, cheered up, supported, nurtured, cultivated, strengthened. And that inner self needs some warmth and compassion and understanding and sympathy from our own heart, because we all have our own private, real difficult lives. Life is really, 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 really tough for most of us. And, in our society, a lot of people go around with big smiles on their face. Well, a lot of people are faking it. Being a psychologist, a lot of patients will walk into the room And I'll say, well, this person seems really happy and really content and really a positive person. And they sit down and they start talking about what's going on inside. Because we just see people's outside. We don't always see people's inside. We don't always see what's going on inside their stream of consciousness, their mind, what they're thinking, what they're fearing, what they're feeling. And so in seeing a person's outside, some people are very good at having a social self where they can smile and they can really act very happy with other people and very content. But inside they might not be. So the inner self is really, it runs the show. It really is what enables us and the people we know and love and people that we work with, everybody else, to be who they are and do what they do. And that inner self needs our support. Because like in Ghostbusters, very often inside, it's a little itty bitty bitty man who is very weak and is not doing so good and really needs help and support. Now, what's inside is very different. We'll get into it because Soul Skills has us really take a journey, take a look around under the hood inside at what are some of the things that are affecting us? What are some of the inner pressures and inner issues and elements and things that really, push us along or knock us out or invigorate us or make us sad or make us happy? We'll be looking at some of those things. But whatever else is going on inside, we do have a core inner self, and that inner self needs to be supported and needs to be nurtured. So we start off in terms of radical self-support power with the radical self-support skill. And the radical self-support skill stands for R for realize my worth. Realize my worth. Now, if you're like me, one of your favorite holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa movies starting in Thanksgiving is It's a Wonderful Life. Jimmy Stewart thought that, my life was really terrible. I didn't realize the dreams I wanted of traveling and going away, and now I'm in financial mess and trouble and everything's going bad. I wish I wasn't here. Well, that heartbreaking movie that is just so wonderful, brings tears to my eyes when I see it every single time, that really shows a case in point where he gets his wish, of course, and he's no longer there, he doesn't exist, and you see how life changes, how many people suffer, how many people's lives go astray because he's not there. You are worth, you're priceless. What you do, who you've affected, the people who love you, the people who you have loved in your life, you have affected all of them. And sometimes we can think, maybe my life isn't worth anything and nobody cares about me and I don't care about anything else. But that's just being taken over by a negative part of ourselves. The truth is, you have worth, you have value, you are important, you give to people. And to realize your worth means that you have to understand that you need and also deserve to get the support in order to keep you going. So radical self-support begins with understanding that you are wonderful and worthwhile. A, radical, R-A. A stands for accept my faults. Good to understand our faults. We all have faults. We live in a yin-yang world, positive and negative. We can't get around it. We have positive and negative qualities about ourselves. And to think otherwise, maybe we're narcissistic and we think, we're perfect, we're great, we're wonderful, we're always loving and just are fantastic. But in reality, we have negativity. Our personality has negativity that affects other people. So we need to understand what that is, but we need to also accept it. And not just because we have shortcomings, not to reject ourselves, but to understand it and accept my own faults. R-A-D. D for do not turn against myself. I'll repeat that. Do not turn against myself. So much of the time we go through the day, we get aggravated, and we just feel lousy, and we feel lousy about ourselves, or we blame ourselves. And we don't have to do this very consciously. It could just be a feeling that we have, that we're turning against ourselves. We need to never turn against ourselves. We need to always support ourselves. R-A-D-I. Inner resilience. We get struck by this, hurt by that, reacting to all kinds of things during the day, at work, at home, with our families. People say things, people ignore us, people reject us, people criticize us, people, we're disappointed. All kinds of things happen that knock us down and put us into some of our habitual emotional states of anxiety, stress, fear, worry, depression, sadness, rejection, insecurity. Well, we're going to fall down into those states, but the whole point of life is being able to have resilience, picking ourselves up, realizing that we don't have to stay in those states. We can rebound. C, climb out of holes. Once we get into a hole, we need to know, okay, I'm in a hole, I feel lousy about myself, I'm really down about myself, I'm down about life, I'm very anxious, I'm not sleeping at night, I'm not doing the right things. Okay, how do we make a ladder to climb out of that hole? We need to be able to, in supporting ourselves, find ways to improve what we're dealing with. RADICA, assert my needs. Assert my needs. We need to be able to say what we want. People are not mind readers. People cannot know what you want. People are a bit self-centered and selfish and self-oriented and even narcissistic. So we need to be able to ask other people for what we want. Radical, L. Finally, L for love and care for myself. Love and care for myself. Now this involves being able to do things that really help you to feel better, that help you to get what you need. And for each of us, it's very, very different. Sometimes people just need time by themselves, or time to read, or time to meditate, or take a walk, or maybe time with others, or time to laugh, or really be funny, or whatever it may be. But we need to be able to have a way that we're caring for ourselves and we're giving to ourselves the things that we need. Again, journal it, write it down. If we just think this is very good, radical self-support, I'm going to start to take better care of myself, it's going to go in one side of the brain and out the other side of the brain. Stream of consciousness, very, very busy, a lot of things going on. You need to write it down and stick to it and work this skill for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a year, 2 years, 5 years. You need to work this skill so that radical self-support, you can enjoy life because you believe in yourself. This brings us to the second radical self-support skill. And this skill is value my self-power. And value my self-power involves value, V for view myself as deserving the best. View myself as deserving the best. Okay? Settle for nothing less. You deserve to feel good, to have good things happen to you. A for accept my imperfections. Okay, we're not perfect. L for limit insecurity and self-doubt. Limit insecurity and self-doubt. Don't drive yourself crazy with all the things that you really are not good at or don't like about yourself or criticize about yourself or down on yourself for. Limit that. Control it. Use tough thinking. Say, I'm not going to tolerate my self-doubt and putting myself down. U for use my mind. We have to use our minds in order to find solutions, in order to feel better. And finally, E, enjoy the highs and lows. We live in a yin-yang universe. There are going to be highs and lows. And basically in our society, we've mentioned this before, very often we are pretending as though life should always be so happy, we're always so joyous and so wonderful and feeling great all the time and smiling and 1,000 clowns kind of thing. Well, that's great. Peak experiences. That happens a lot. And make sure you make it happen as much as possible. But we also have to enjoy the fact that life is also filled with anxiety, stress, worry, sadness. So many other cultures have names for these things that really show how much they can be appreciated. Where, if the sun is not shining, then we define it, this is a bad day and we can't enjoy the day. Again, other societies, the fog, that's beautiful, it's mystical, it's magical. It's raining, it's invigorating the grass and nature, and it's helping the trees to grow and the leaves and greenery to flourish. And so it's a good thing. I feel washing my soul, and these things have other values. They symbolize other things in other societies. In our society, we only like the days where it's sunny and really warm and really comfortable. Well, enjoy everything, the highs and the lows. Find a way of enjoying the highs and lows, the weather inside. When you're feeling kind of lousy, well, how can I enjoy feeling lousy? This is okay, it's part of life. And the highs and lows outside when we run into some difficult times. Value my self-power, use it, it's helpful. This brings us to the third radical self-support skill. Self-nurture power. Self-nurture power is really, really important. How do we nurture ourselves? All kinds of different ways. And it starts with N for name my special place to retreat. Okay, think about it. It could be a special place that you create in your house, in your backyard, a place that is nearby your house where you can go to. Or maybe it's a special place in your own mind where you're going to go to. You use a sphere of light. In order to, we are surrounded by all kinds of energy fields. Right now it looks like not much is happening around us. But if we had other vision, other sensory apparatus, we'd see all kinds of radio waves and radiation and heat waves and all sorts of things happening. Likewise, inside we are an energy system. And all these energies are like moving around, and the blood is rushing through the body, and the circulation and the oxygen, you name it. There's a lot going on energy-wise. It's going on all around us. But we need to be able to feel that energy in a way that's positive, not in a way that's like shaking and rattling and falling apart and fragmenting, but in a way that helps it all to feel together. So if we envision in our minds that we have a positive sphere of light that encircles us, that protects us, we can sit in our imagination in our very special place. Maybe it's by a lake, maybe it's by a river, maybe it's in our own house, in our living room, by the fireplace, with a nice warm fire going. Maybe it's in the mountains or by a beach, in an ocean, where we can smell the salt sea, beautiful fresh air and ocean spray, and hear the rolling waves come in. And so we're sitting either in our mind or in reality in these places, and we can envision ourselves as being encircled by a protecting sphere of light that circles us, that protects us, that nurtures us, like being in an eggshell, like being surrounded by an energy field that is nurturing us. N-U-R, R. R next stands for refuel daily. Find a way, write it down. What can I do every single day that's going to invigorate me, that's going to refuel me, that I need in order to freshen, nurture my inner self? T, tap into the life essence. Tap into the life essence. Once again, many of us believe in God, the Spirit, the divine, the sacred in life. Feel it. Feel it in your body. Feel the presence of God. If you're atheist, you got to at least believe in life energy. There is life. Tap into the feeling of nature, of life itself, of spirituality, of light, of the power that we have that is life. So whether you are atheistic or a believer in God or somewhere in between, there is a force and forces in life that are greater than our ego, that really sustain us, that really is the glue that holds life together, or the flow of life, or the energies in life. Tap into that life essence. Don't just be in your stream of consciousness being battered around by this thought and this emotion, this sensation, that sensation, urge, and all kinds of different things. Tap into a solid feeling of life itself. You, unconditional self-support. Unconditional self-support. In your imagination, if you're doing this as an exercise where you're nurturing yourself, say to yourself, start to say to yourself words that really help you to calm down, to feel good about yourself. I am worthy. I am wonderful. I am good inside. I deserve the best. R, quickly rebound from injuries. And E, emotional soothing. Take your emotions, hold your emotions, be with your emotions. Now, in terms of self-nurturing, we talked a little bit about that we can actually go somewhere and sit somewhere or walk somewhere or be somewhere where we feel nurtured. We're surrounded by nature. We're surrounded by the safety of our house, or we're in a place where we feel a sense of protection. Or we can take some time every day, just even for 5 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes perhaps, where we close our eyes and we just go into a place, a special place inside, where we sit by a river or the ocean, and we smell the beautiful breeze, and we follow our breath, and we take in the energy that surrounds us, and we're just feeling good, and we say things to ourselves that help us to feel good. Now, you can use a lot of the taped meditations and visualizations and guided relaxation techniques that are part of the program, or you can do one yourself. So one way or another, nurture power really helps you to be able to know and prioritize on a daily basis that you're going to need to fill your gas tank. You're going to need to do something that invigorates you, that heals you, that soothes you, that nurtures you, that makes you feel better. So enjoy it. Radical self-support. Very, very important. The fourth radical self-support skill is self-leadership power. And self-leadership power comes from the whole approach and understanding from a field, a dawning field in psychology, not many people know about it, that's called internal family systems. And that's a big area. So we're going to conquer that and talk about that and deal with that in a separate video. So for right now, think about the first three radical self-support skills. In order to invigorate our soul, in order to be able to appreciate life to the fullest and love life, we have to be able to nurture ourselves, support ourselves, believe in ourselves, take care of ourselves. So use it. Radical self-support. Write it down. Use the challenges. Use the various journals. Use the score sheets. Do whatever you have to do. But make sure that every single day you are feeling, every single moment, this positive sense of yourself. Believing in yourself. You're a unique personality. There's no one else like you. Believe me. Every person is a universe. Every person is like landing in a new planet with a new solar system and they are just so amazing. People are so amazing. You're so amazing. And there's no one quite like you. So if you don't take care of yourself, other people might not really be able to. So you've got to nurture, feed, and care for yourself in a way that realizes that your unique life experience, life journey, personality, characteristics, sense of humor, emotionality, thoughts, opinions, beliefs, way of interacting, all of that is so amazing and so positive and so good. And you've got to support yourself in order to believe in yourself so you have all this energy to give to yourself and to others in this journey of life. Soul power, radical self-support. Support yourself no matter what. Take care. See you next episode. This is Dr. Roger Goddard saying goodbye.